Capricorn, not everyone around you is happy for you. Number 5 will shock you. Capricorn, we need to talk. You've been working in silence, climbing your mountain step by step, building your empire brick by brick. You don't brag, you don't seek attention. You just put your head down and grind. You think that if you work hard enough, stay humble enough, keep your circle tight enough, that everyone around you will celebrate your success. But here's the brutal truth you've been avoiding. Not everyone around you is happy for you. In fact, some of the people closest to you, the ones who smile in your face, who celebrate with you publicly, who act like they're in your corner, are secretly hoping you fail. They're watching your progress with clenched teeth. They're commenting congratulations while drowning in envy. They're applauding your wins while praying for your downfall. And the worst part? You already sense it. You feel the energy shift when you share good news. You notice the subtle shade, the backhanded compliments, the sudden distance from people who used to be close. But because you're Capricorn, loyal, practical, benefit of the doubt-giving Capricorn, you ignore the red flags. You tell yourself you're being paranoid. You convince yourself that you're overthinking it. But you're not. In this video, I'm going to expose 5 harsh truths about the hidden enemies in your circle. We're talking about the jealousy you inspire without even trying, the fake supporters who drain your energy, the emotional vampires disguised as friends, and the betrayal that's brewing in your inner circle right now. And when we get to number 5, it's going to shake you to your core because it's about someone you trust completely. If you're ready to protect your peace, guard your energy, and see the truth about who's really for you, then stay until the end. This isn't just astrology, this is survival. Let's reveal who's been secretly working against you. If you're ready to protect your peace, guard your energy, and finally see who's really for you and who's secretly against you, then stay with me until the very end. And before we dive into these revelations, hit that subscribe button and leave a like, because what we're about to uncover is going to change everything. Let's begin. Let me tell you something about Capricorn that makes you uniquely vulnerable to envy. You don't need validation to succeed. While others are posting every small win on social media, seeking applause and attention, you're quietly building empires. You don't announce your moves, you just make them. And when people finally notice what you've accomplished, it's already undeniable. This is your power. But it's also what makes certain people deeply uncomfortable. Here's what you need to understand. Your success is a mirror. When you achieve something, when you level up, when you reach a goal that seemed impossible, you're not just proving what you're capable of. You're reflecting back to others what they're not doing with their own lives. And for people who are stuck, who are making excuses, who are too afraid to chase their own dreams, your progress feels like a personal attack. Think about it. You didn't have to brag. You didn't have to make anyone feel small. You simply did the work, stayed disciplined, made the sacrifices, and showed up consistently even when no one was watching. But to someone who lacks that discipline, who takes shortcuts, who quits when things get hard, your mere existence is a reminder of their own failures. And instead of being inspired by you, instead of asking how you did it or what they can learn from you, they resent you. They tell themselves stories to justify their feelings. They just got lucky. They had help. It's not that impressive. They probably sacrificed too much. They're probably miserable. Anything to avoid the uncomfortable truth that you did what they couldn't or wouldn't do. This is why some people go quiet when you share good news. This is why certain friends suddenly become distant when your life starts improving. It's not because they don't care about you. It's because your growth forces them to confront their own stagnation, and that's a mirror most people can't stand to look into. The cruelest part? You genuinely don't understand why they're upset. You weren't competing with them. You weren't trying to make them feel bad. You were just living your life, pursuing your goals, being the disciplined, hardworking Capricorn you've always been. But to an insecure person, your light doesn't inspire. It exposes. And people don't attack the darkness, they attack the light. So they start with subtle digs. Must be nice to have all that time to focus on yourself. I could do that too if I didn't have so many responsibilities. Don't work too hard. Remember to enjoy life. These comments seem harmless, maybe even concerned, but they're actually little needles designed to deflate your joy, to make you question whether your success is even worth celebrating. And here's what breaks my heart. You internalize it. You start downplaying your achievements. You stop sharing your wins because you don't want to make people uncomfortable. You dim your light because other people can't handle the brightness. You shrink yourself to make others feel better about staying small. But Capricorn, your success is not something to apologize for. Your discipline is not arrogance. Your ambition is not selfishness. You have worked too hard, sacrificed too much, and overcome too many obstacles to let someone else's insecurity make you feel guilty for thriving. The people who are genuinely happy for you don't need you to dim your light. They bring their own flashlight and walk beside you. The ones who ask you to stay small so they feel big, those aren't your people. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can stop wasting energy trying to make them comfortable with your growth. This is going to be hard to hear, but it's essential that you understand it. There are people in your life who are emotionally invested in your failure. Not because they hate you, but because your success makes them feel like failures. And the only way they can feel better about themselves is if you come back down to their level. Let me paint you a picture. You and someone close to you started at the same place, same struggles, same circumstances, same starting line. But while they complained, made excuses, and stayed comfortable in their pain, you got up every single day and did the work. You made uncomfortable choices. You delayed gratification. You said no to distractions and yes to discipline. And now, years later, your lives look completely different. You've built something. You've grown. You've transformed. And they're still exactly where they were, maybe even worse off, making the same excuses they made 5 years ago. Now here's the psychological trap they're caught in. If they admit you succeeded because of your choices, they have to admit they're stuck because of their choices. And that level of accountability is too painful for most people to accept. So instead, they create an alternate narrative where you didn't really earn your success. You just got lucky, had advantages, or sacrificed things that matter more, like happiness or relationships. But deep down, they know the truth. And that truth eats at them every single day. Which is why they secretly hope you'll fail. Not in a dramatic, obvious way. They're not evil. But in a way that would validate their own stagnation. They hope you'll burn out. They hope your business will struggle. They hope your relationship will fail. They hope you'll make a mistake big enough that they can finally say, "See? I was right to play it safe. I was right to stay where I am." This is why certain people bring up your past failures constantly. Remember when you tried that business and it didn't work? Didn't you say you were going to do this 3 years ago? They're not trying to have a conversation. They're trying to remind you and themselves that you're not invincible, that you've stumbled before, that maybe this time you'll stumble again. And watch what happens when you do hit a rough patch. Suddenly, these same people who were distant during your success are very present during your struggle. They're checking in, offering advice, showing concern, not because they want to help you rise, but because they want to confirm that you're falling. Your pain gives them relief. Your setback gives them permission to stay stuck. The most insidious part? They'll disguise this envy as concern. "I'm just worried about you. You're working too hard. You're changing. You're not the same person anymore." They'll frame your growth as a loss, your ambition as a character flaw, your success as something that's corrupting you. Because if they can convince you that success is bad, then your failure becomes a victory, and their stagnation becomes wisdom. Capricorn, you need to recognize these people and understand their psychology, not to judge them, but to protect yourself. Because their need for you to fail is so strong that they will unconsciously sabotage you. They'll plant seeds of doubt. They'll drain your energy with their negativity. They'll discourage you right when you need encouragement most. They'll be the voice in your head that says, "Who do you think you are? Maybe you should quit while you're ahead." And here's what you must remember. You cannot shrink yourself to heal someone else's insecurity. You cannot fail on purpose to make someone else feel successful. You cannot dim your light to make someone else's darkness feel less lonely. Their feelings about your success are not your responsibility to manage. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them be triggered. Let them face the mirror that your life holds up. Because the only way they'll ever grow is if they stop focusing on your journey and start focusing on their own. Capricorn, we need to talk about your greatest strength and your most dangerous weakness, your loyalty. You are the friend who never leaves, the partner who stays through the storms, the family member who shows up no matter what. Once someone is in your circle, you protect them fiercely, defend them endlessly, and give them chance after chance after chance. And some people are weaponizing that loyalty against you. Here's how it works. You operate on a code of honor. When you commit to someone, you mean it. When you say you're there, you're there. You believe that loyalty should be reciprocal, that the people you ride for will ride for you, that the energy you give will be the energy you receive. And because you live by this code, you assume others do too. But they don't. There are people in your inner circle right now who know exactly how loyal you are, and they're taking advantage of it. They know you won't abandon them, so they don't have to earn your trust. They already have it by default. They know you give people the benefit of a doubt, so they can betray you in small ways and you'll explain it away. They know you value longevity in relationships, so they can treat you poorly and you'll stay because we've been friends for so long, or family is family. This is the trap, Capricorn. Your loyalty has become a shield that protects people who don't deserve protection. And while you're busy being the rock everyone leans on, some of those same people are chipping away at your foundation. Let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself. How many times have you felt disrespected by someone close to you, but didn't address it because you didn't want to make it a big deal? How many times have you noticed someone's energy shift toward you, but convinced yourself you were overthinking it? How many times have you been there for someone in their darkest hour, only to realize they were nowhere to be found in yours? You remember, don't you? You remember the times you needed support and got silence. The times you shared your dreams and got skepticism instead of encouragement. The times you were going through something difficult and certain people were conveniently busy. You remember because it hurt, but you buried that hurt because Capricorn doesn't make things dramatic. But here's what you're not seeing. Those weren't isolated incidents. They were patterns. They were reveals. They were showing you exactly who these people are, and you chose loyalty over truth. The most dangerous betrayals aren't the obvious ones, the dramatic explosions, the public backstabbing, the clear-cut villainy. No, the most dangerous betrayals are the slow, subtle ones. The friend who's happy for you in public but talks about you behind your back. The family member who takes your support for granted and never reciprocates. The partner who knows your dreams but never truly supports them. The colleague who smiles while quietly undermining your progress. These people haven't betrayed you once. They're betraying you constantly, in small doses, in ways you keep excusing. And your loyalty is the reason they keep getting away with it. Capricorn, I need you to understand something crucial. Loyalty without discernment is self-destruction. Being loyal to everyone means being loyal to no one, including yourself. True loyalty isn't blind, it's earned, maintained, and mutual. And when someone repeatedly shows you they don't value your presence, your support, or your energy, believing them isn't disloyalty, it's self-respect. You're so afraid of being the person who gives up on people that you've become the person who gives up on yourself. You'll sacrifice your peace to keep the peace. You'll ignore red flags to preserve relationships. You'll accept breadcrumbs of loyalty while giving full meals of devotion. And the cruelest irony? The people you're most loyal to are often the least loyal to you. They know you'll stay. They know you'll forgive. They know you won't walk away. So they don't have to treat you well. They just have to treat you well enough that you don't leave. But Capricorn, walking away from people who don't value you isn't betrayal. It's self-preservation. Protecting your energy isn't selfishness. It's survival. And sometimes the most loyal thing you can do for yourself is to be disloyal to people who were never truly loyal to you. Before we continue to the next two truths, and trust me, what's coming next will hit even harder, I need to ask you something. Capricorn, have you experienced this? Have you felt taken for granted by people you've been loyal to? Have you stayed in relationships, friendships, or situations longer than you should have because you didn't want to give up on people? Drop a comment below and share your story. Sometimes just typing it out helps you see the truth you've been avoiding. And your experience might help another Capricorn realize they're not alone in this struggle. Let's support each other in the comments. Here's a truth that's going to sting. Pay attention to who shows up when you're struggling versus who shows up when you're succeeding. Because Capricorn, some people are only present for your pain, never for your progress. Think back to the last time you went through something difficult, a loss, a setback, a moment of vulnerability. Who reached out? Who checked in? Who offered support? Now think back to the last time you achieved something significant, a promotion, a milestone, a victory. Who celebrated with you? Who seemed genuinely excited? Who asked you about it with authentic interest? Notice the difference in the lists? Notice how some people who were silent during your success were suddenly very present during your struggle? That's not coincidence, Capricorn. That's calculation. Here's the uncomfortable psychology behind this. Some people are only comfortable with you when you're at their level or below it. When you're struggling, they can relate to you. They can offer advice. They can feel superior in their ability to help you. They can bond with you over shared pain, shared frustration, shared limitations. Your struggle makes them feel useful, needed, important. But when you succeed, when you level up, when you accomplish something they haven't, suddenly they don't know how to relate to you anymore. They can't offer advice because you're beyond their experience. They can't feel superior because you've surpassed them. They can't bond over shared struggles because you've moved past the struggle they're still stuck in. So instead of rising to meet you at your new level, they wait for you to fall back to theirs. They're not rooting for your continued success. They're waiting for the return of your struggle because that's when they feel most comfortable around you. This is why certain people go silent when you share good news. This is why some friends become distant when your life improves. This is why you feel more alone during your victories than during your defeats. Because the people who claim to love you have actually grown addicted to your pain. It's the only version of you they know how to be present for. And here's the devastating part. You've learned to hide your success to keep these people around. You downplay your achievements. You skip celebrating your wins. You're more comfortable sharing your struggles than your victories because you know that's when people pay attention. You've been trained to believe that your pain is more valuable than your joy, that your setbacks are more relatable than your comebacks, that people care more when you're broken than when you're whole. But Capricorn, this is a trap. Because every time you dim your light to keep someone comfortable, you're choosing their ego over your truth. Every time you hide your success to avoid triggering someone's envy, you're participating in your own diminishment. Every time you make yourself small to keep someone around, you're teaching them that the only version of you worthy of their presence is the struggling version. Real supporters don't need you to struggle to stay interested. They don't disappear during your success and reappear during your setbacks. They celebrate your wins as loudly as they comfort your losses. They're excited about your growth, not threatened by it. They ask about your achievements with genuine curiosity, not forced politeness. They want you to win, not because it benefits them, but because they genuinely love seeing you thrive. Those are your people, Capricorn. The ones who are consistent in both seasons, not just the winter of your pain, but the spring of your growth. The ones who cheer as loudly for your promotion as they cry with you through your heartbreak. The ones who don't need you to be broken to feel connected to you. Everyone else? They're spectators who bought tickets to watch you fall, not rise. And you need to stop performing your struggles for an audience that doesn't deserve access to any version of you, broken or whole. And now we arrive at the truth that's going to shock you the most, the one you've been sensing but refusing to believe. The person who's going to betray you, or already has, is someone you trust completely, someone you've defended, someone you've invested in, someone you never suspected, because they've played their role so convincingly. Capricorn, I need you to brace yourself for this because it's going to hurt. The enemy isn't always obvious. Sometimes they're wearing the mask of a best friend. Sometimes they're sitting at your family table. Sometimes they're sleeping in your bed. Sometimes they're the person you've confided in, supported through their darkest times. celebrated during their victories, and trusted with your vulnerabilities. And they've been betraying you the entire time. Here's how they operate. They stay close. They learn your weaknesses, your fears, your dreams, your insecurities. They collect information like weapons, storing every vulnerable moment you've shared, every confession you've made, every fear you've expressed. And when the moment is right, when it benefits them, when they feel threatened by you, when an opportunity presents itself, they use everything you gave them against you. Maybe it's the friend who smiles in your face but talks about you behind your back, twisting your words and painting you in a negative light to mutual friends. Maybe it's the family member who takes credit for your success or downplays your achievements while highlighting your failures. Maybe it's the partner who knows your dreams but subtly discourages you from pursuing them because your success threatens their control. Maybe it's the colleague who acts supportive but sabotages your projects or steals your ideas. The reason this betrayal hurts so deeply is because you never saw it coming. You trusted them. You were loyal to them. You defended them when others questioned them. You showed up for them consistently, even when it was inconvenient, even when you had your own struggles. You gave them access to parts of yourself that you protect from the world. And they weaponized it. Here's what Capricorn needs to understand. People reveal themselves in how they treat you when you're not useful to them anymore. When you stop being the supporter they lean on. When you stop providing the resources they need. When your success means you're no longer at their level. When you set boundaries they're not used to. That's when the mask slips. That's when the betrayal becomes visible. Pay attention to these signs because they're showing you right now. Who gets defensive when you set boundaries? Who makes you feel guilty for prioritizing yourself? Who only reaches out when they need something, but is nowhere to be found when you need support? Who subtly competes with you while pretending to be on your team? Who questions your decisions, undermines your confidence, or plants seeds of doubt disguised as concern? These aren't random behaviors, Capricorn. These are reveals. These are them showing you exactly who they are, and you need to believe them. I know what you're thinking right now. But we've been friends for years. But they're family. But they were there for me that one time. But I've known them since. Stop. Stop justifying betrayal with history. Stop excusing toxic behavior with longevity. Stop protecting people who don't protect you just because ending the relationship feels harder than enduring the disrespect. The most painful truth about betrayal is that it's never just one moment. It's been happening slowly, repeatedly, in ways you kept excusing until the evidence became undeniable. And even now, part of you wants to give them another chance, another explanation, another opportunity to prove you wrong. But Capricorn, you already know. Your intuition has been screaming at you. You've felt the shift in energy. You've noticed the inconsistencies. You've caught the subtle digs, the fake enthusiasm, the convenient absences. You've been collecting red flags and calling them roses, because facing the truth means losing someone you've invested in deeply. But here's what you need to hear. Losing someone who was never truly for you isn't a loss, it's a liberation. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is trust your intuition over their explanation, honor your peace over their presence, and choose yourself over a relationship that's been slowly killing your spirit. The betrayal is real. The person is close. And deep down, you already know who it is. And this, Capricorn, is your heartbreak, the burden you carry that no one sees. You are the builder, the protector, the steady force that everyone leans on. But who do you lean on when your foundation cracks? Who protects you while you're protecting everyone else? Who stays loyal to you with the same fierce devotion you give to them? The world sees your strength and mistakes it for invincibility. They see your discipline and mistake it for lack of struggle. They see your success and mistake it for luck, never acknowledging the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the moments you wanted to quit, but didn't because quitting isn't in your nature. And while you're carrying everyone else's burdens, building everyone else up, staying loyal to people who don't deserve it, some of those same people are secretly hoping you'll fall. Not because you did anything to them, but because your success is a mirror they can't face. Your growth is a reminder of their stagnation. Your discipline exposes their excuses. And instead of being inspired, they're triggered. So they smile while they sabotage. They congratulate while they criticize. They celebrate your pain more than your progress. They stay close enough to collect information, but distant enough to avoid true intimacy. They take your loyalty for granted, because they know you'll never walk away. And when you finally succeed, despite all of this, they're the first ones to whisper, "I always knew they'd change." Success changed them. But you didn't change, Capricorn. You just finally saw them clearly. This is your conflict. You want to believe the best in people, but reality keeps showing you the worst. You want to stay loyal, but loyalty without reciprocity is self-destruction. You want to trust, but your intuition keeps screaming that something is wrong. You want to celebrate your success, but the people around you make you feel guilty for thriving. So you carry it all silently. The betrayal you can't prove. The envy you can feel but can't name. The loneliness of being surrounded by people yet feeling completely alone. The exhaustion of being the strong one, the reliable one, the one who never breaks. When all you want is permission to fall apart and have someone catch you the way you catch everyone else. But here's what I need you to hear. Your success doesn't make you a bad person. Your growth doesn't make you selfish. Your boundaries don't make you disloyal. And recognizing betrayal doesn't make you negative. It makes you aware. You have spent your entire life building, climbing, achieving, not for applause, but because it's who you are. And you deserve to be surrounded by people who celebrate that, not people who resent it. You deserve friends who show up in both seasons. You deserve loyalty that matches yours. You deserve to feel safe sharing your victories without dimming your light. And if the people in your circle can't handle your success, can't reciprocate your loyalty, can't celebrate your growth without making it about themselves, then they were never your circle to begin with. They were an audience watching your journey, waiting for the moment you'd stumble so they could feel better about staying still. So Capricorn, here's what you need to do. Stop shrinking yourself for people who are intimidated by your growth. Stop being loyal to people who were never loyal to you. Stop explaining your success to people who are more interested in your failure. Stop giving energy to relationships that drain you instead of refill you. Your intuition has been trying to protect you. Trust it. The red flags you've been ignoring? They're reveals. The people who've shown you their true colors? Believe them. The relationships that feel one-sided? They are. It's time to protect your peace with the same intensity you've protected everyone else. It's time to be as loyal to yourself as you've been to others. It's time to let go of people who aren't genuinely happy for you, not with anger or bitterness, but with clarity and self-respect. Because you didn't work this hard, sacrifice this much, and overcome this many obstacles to let someone else's envy, insecurity, or betrayal dim your light. You are not responsible for managing other people's feelings about your success. You are not obligated to stay small so others feel big. You are not required to fail so others feel better about not trying. You are allowed to thrive. You are allowed to cut off access. You are allowed to be selective about who gets to witness your growth. You are allowed to walk away from anyone, friend, family, partner, who doesn't genuinely celebrate your wins. Your loyalty is a gift, not a guarantee. Your energy is sacred, not unlimited. Your circle should be a sanctuary, not a battlefield. So now I want to hear from you, Capricorn. Have you experienced this? Have you felt the shift in people when you started succeeding? Have you recognized the betrayal that's been hiding in plain sight? Have you stayed loyal to people who didn't deserve it? Drop a comment below and share your truth. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is finally admit out loud what you've been feeling in silence. And if this video resonated with you, if it made you see your relationships more clearly, if it gave you permission to protect your peace, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden truths of every zodiac sign. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your strength, your loyalty, your discipline. And remember, the right people will never be threatened by your success. They'll be your loudest cheerleaders. Protect your energy, trust your intuition, and never apologize for outgrowing people who refuse to grow with you. Until next time, keep building, keep climbing, and keep shining, because your light was never meant to be dimmed for anyone. See you in the next video.